Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the series. I'm joined again today by Steve Maguire. How are you, Stephen?
I'm very well, Tom. Thank you.
That's the way. That's the way. So today we're continuing our look at Enterprise Architect and the related tools and features around that. And today we're looking at the workspace layouts, Stephen.
That's right, Tom. We're going to have a look at workspace layouts, which are essentially the organization of the windows and other dialog boxes or other boxes on the screen. So let's have a look at that now. We're going to look at our perspective, set of perspective. We'll just set a UML perspective here of all UML. That focuses the tool onto UML. But actually, this topic, Tom, is much broader than just UML. The tool obviously has a large amount of functionality and can do all sorts of things from strategic modeling and enterprise architecture and solution architectures, database modeling, requirements, all sorts of things. And this topic is going to be applied or is applicable to all of those things. So let's have a look at what workspace layout's about. So this is a window we haven't looked at before, which is called the portals window. Now I've got it just hidden away over here, and it just pops out there when I want to use it. Set that on there by saying auto hide, which I've done. And there are a number of different parts to the different types of portals. We've got recent places, workspaces, perspective windows, and all sorts of things. So if I chose Windows, for example, it's going to list the windows that someone might use when they're modeling. But I'm going to choose workspaces today. We'll cover portals in more detail in another video. So what are workspaces? Well, you can see that the screen at the moment, you can see that I've got a browser window over there, and I've also got a properties window, notes window. So there are a number of different windows. And Tom, I can move these around. For example, if I wanted to open up another window, let's say we're going to open up the pan and zoom window. So let's just open that up. You can notice that it just popped itself up there in the properties. Now I don't, that's not a position that I like to have it in. So I can just literally drag that pan and zoom window by just grabbing the tab, pan and move it around. Now, as I'm moving it, Tom, you can see that there are these little indicators that pop up. And when I roll my mouse over some of the targets, it's showing me where that window would be positioned if I were to drop it. So I'm going to drop it down here, and I could drop it into this position here and have three layers of windows on this side. But actually, I'm going to put it inside with the notes in the same tab group. So by selecting the middle target there, that puts it into that group. So I've got notes there and pan and zoom, and I can move that pan and zoom along there a bit and make it the first tab in that set. So that's a very useful thing to do. And I can, I might be the kind of person that prefers my my browser on the, the right-hand side. So I'm going to put it over there, and I can move my properties window and put that over this side. And so I can adjust all of those windows and put them into the places which I prefer. And Tom, everyone works differently. We can think that we know the way that each individual works, but that's a very personal thing. So quite a powerful feature there to be able to move those windows around. Let's have a look, though, at the fact that if I have moved them and I'm comfortable with them, what, if I wanted to save that layout, what could I do? Well, before we look at the saving the layout, let's have a look at the portal window. And as always, as the Enterprise Architect, it comes with a whole lot of out-of-the-box workspaces. So, for example, here's one that's called Basic Diagramming. Let's select that one, and notice what happens. The browser's gone back to the left-hand side, the properties on the right. We've got a pan and zoom window there, and that might be a useful one. I can look at core modeling, and that layout gives me a slightly different one. And let's say I was going to do some database modeling. So there is a particular tool called the Database Builder that's used with database modeling, and we can add a new data model there if we wanted to. So that would be useful for people that are doing database modeling. So a whole range of things. One of my favorites, Tom, is the over here is the wide view. So if we were to bring up a diagram, let's go to our home screen there, and bring up a diagram. We'll go to the structural model. We're using these navigation cells to move around the model. Bring up my class model there. I want to zoom in and see that in a bit more detail. Now, it's kind of there's all these other windows there that are in the way. You can see that. So what I can do is I can go to my portals window and go to wide view. Now that's close this database builder, but you can see now it's taking up the entire horizontal space there, which is a very useful thing to do. So what if I wanted my own layout? And I think that's really good. And one of the things that this is very useful layout, but one of the things I like to do with the layout is I'll just put it back into this mode here, into basic diagramming. And what I like to do is say, look, I want the pan and zoom window there, and I also want the notes window. But these other two windows, the properties window and the layout tools, I don't want those, but I do want my notes window. So I'll go to properties here, look at the notes window, open that up. Remember, I can drag and drop that off. I can drag that away, and I'm going to put it into the same group with the pan and well, actually, what I might do is actually put it underneath there. Might be a useful thing to do as well. So now I've got that. I'm going to close my browser window completely. And now I've got this view here. Now, I quite like that view because, what it means is that when I'm looking at an element, I can look at that. And if I zoom in on different things, I can use my pan and zoom window to move around. So that's very useful. So it's like a wide view with some other options. So having defined that layout, I can now go to the Start ribbon and the All Windows panel and Workspaces. So there's an icon there for Workspaces, and I'm going to say Save My Workspace. Right, so I'm going to call it something sensible so I'll be able to remember it, and it defaults to new layout, and I'm going to call it Wide Canvas and Browser and Pan and Zoom. So I've saved that. Now let's just go and change to imagine we were in a core modeling situation, and we've got our model there, and we think, oh, we really want to see this diagram in a much wider view, but I also want to be able to flick through the notes. I might be presenting this in a meeting, and so let's go to our portals window now, and we'll go to Workspaces, and you can see under My Workspaces, Wide Canvas, Browse and Pan has popped up. And so there we have it. It's that window, and I can zoom in around that, and I can click on these things and find out, the notes that are there on this, and like the parking session. So quite useful for a presentation, and it's a different view to the wide view. The wide view is incredibly useful, but this is my own sort of version of it, my own flavor of that. And every user can create their own workspace layouts, Tom.
Yeah, right, Stephen. Very, very interesting. So it sort of seems like with what we've covered over the last few weeks with the videos, you've been setting perspectives to set a technology set to the work that you're doing. You're now able to set a workspace to match the work that you're doing. So it almost seems like you could customize Enterprise Architect specifically for the role or the task at hand. If you were, say, a database engineer, you might set to the database workspace, the database perspective, and then you've effectively got a pure database tool. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's exactly it, Tom. The Enterprise Architect is a tool with, just an absolutely almost inexhaustible amount of features. And, if you are a database engineer, as you said, you might want to focus on that. If you're a requirements engineer, you might want to focus on that. And the tool can be changed. We will look at this in another video, but the ribbons can all be changed. We can hide ribbons. We can hide panels off those ribbons. And so, yes, the tool can focus down into a particular perspective, a particular focus. And Tom, it's not just for individuals. In my own roles, I perform a number of different roles. I wear many hats. In fact, the history of my work has been across many different fields. Right from strategy and project management, right down to the nuts and bolts of coding and things. So I'm changing roles. During the day, I might be, at one point I might be doing strategic modeling. At another point, I might be doing some database modeling. I might be reviewing a client's diagrams to do with coding and and component design. So yes, I can change that. I can change my position, and there are lots of tools, and we're going to look at those in some other videos as well that can help us focus on our
Yeah,
work.
very exciting, very exciting. And also too, I guess you couple that with the fact that you can view these elements in different ways that suit those roles. Suddenly, with those collaboration features, every member of the team can be working on the same tool at the same time in a way that suits them with a visualization that suits them. So that's
Yeah,
I'm starting to get excited, Stephen. I'm loving to see where these series are going to take us.
yeah, and here you can see, Tom, we've just switched to we've switched to that view, as you said. We can, switch out of the different views and put different people back to the graphics view. So, lots of different options there. And yeah, the tool designers, Tom, have had, spent many years really honing this tool and making it incredibly useful to a very, very broad range of people. And some people say, wow, there's a lot of different ways to do things in Enterprise Architect, and that's a real feature of the tool. Some people are visual people, some people are textual people, some people, like working with a decluttered workspace, some people like to have all the things open at the same time. So, the tool is infinitely flexible and can adapt to anyone's way of working.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, thank you very much, Stephen, for your time today. Really appreciate that.
Pleasure, Tom.
Thank you to all those people who are continuing along with our series. Again, please like, comment, and subscribe to the videos. It really gives us a bit of an uptick in the day when we see that. So appreciate that to everyone else. We'll join you tomorrow for the next video. Talk to you then.